Welcome to the Sixth Man, Chris Draper on your TV sets, Facebook Live. I want to thank everybody for the congratulations on becoming the sports director here at BTW 21. That's just going to allow me to bring you sports coverage all the time. So I'm going to be uploading everything to whether it be the BTW 21 Facebook or whether it be my personal Facebook with Chris Draper or whether it be my Twitter at IWon'tStop13 that you should be following for more coverage. Now today we have a packed show, whether it be me discussing the rivalry that was renewed on Friday in our BTW 21 game of the week between Martinsville and Magna Vista, or whether it's Bassett struggles continuing, or even I got my man Norm Wood all the way from Newport News. You should be following him on Twitter as well for Virginia Tech coverage. So I got a packed show for you today. Being that it's just me, there's no Brandon, I'm going to continue to bring you guests on this show a little bit more since I'm here all the time. Maybe even a couple of legends from around the area. If you're watching on Facebook Live, key it in. Tell me who you want me to bring on the show. Tell me who you want me to debate. Let me know. I'll bring them on this show. I will do all that I can to give Martinsville, Henry County their say-so in sports. Because I felt like for a long time we didn't have that. Now we got that, man. So y'all just let me know who y'all want me to bring on the show, who y'all want me to debate, what you want me to talk about. There's no subject I'm going to dodge in Martinsville, Henry County. This is the way it's going to be. I want the community, I want the audience to be a part of this. I want them to chime in because they are the ones who have made this happen. So with that being said, let's get right into our first topic. Martinsville, Magna Vista, a rivalry that was renewed, a quarterback duel. And we didn't even get to see the quarterbacks we thought were going to play. We didn't even get to see Austin Perkins, but we got to see Aaron Martin. If you haven't seen him before, you can check it out. It'll be posted to YouTube as well, and it'll be running on BTW 21 all week. Aaron Martin, a.k.a. Monkman's son, if you don't know him in the community, for as much as being said. But trust me, he went off. 285 yards passing, if I'm not mistaken. 3 touchdowns on the ground, 2 in the air to Petway. I mean, I'm telling you, and that Magna Vista offense, we got our first look at Dasani Harrison. Boy, was he a beast. Kid is faster than expected, and I think he's only in 10th grade. That's amazing. He's just a sophomore. So we got a lot to look forward to him coming up in the future, as well as Xanthus Harrison, who is a senior, helping lead those Bulldogs for a long time. He's been helping lead those Bulldogs to basketball state championships. Now they're trying to look for a football state championship. So, I mean, Martinsville is definitely on its way. I mean, Martinsville is doing exactly what they need to do. Orion Martin and company, that's one of the biggest lines I've seen him have at Martinsville for a long time. Until this rivalry, I mean, Martinsville had struggled against Magna Vista. I mean, it had been lopsided in the last couple of years. I mean, Martinsville had been getting mollywopped every time they faced them. So with that being said, I mean, that's just what happened. But listen, this time, 51-37, it was tough. 51-37, 45 penalties, backup quarterback, no Chris Scales, no Austin Perkins, no Rudolph, but no Sparrows Ferris, no DJ Wells for Martinsville. But do you think it made a problem? No, it made for the most packed out game we've seen in the Piedmont District. It was sold out. They had to turn people down in the second quarter. And was it one of those games? Let me just tell you how it started off just a little bit, just in case you missed it on Facebook Live. I mean, if you weren't in attendance or watching at home, you missed Aaron Martin to Petway twice, burning up Ross. I got to call him out, man. Listen, one-on-ones regardless, but I got to call him out. I got to hold the kids accountable. So that's just how it goes. I mean, Magna Vista, great defense from Jason Scales and Jalen Pritchett and C.J. Hughes and whether it be Jordan Akers and his interception or Josh Penn and his interception, but great defense, which is what you expected out of that Blue Funk defense to hold up Martinsville to get the win. But that quarterback duel, we didn't expect Coach Rivero to have another quarterback in his back pocket. I mean, we didn't expect Coach Rivero to have Akira Greenfield in his back pocket throwing for 280-plus yards, throwing 4 touchdowns, or even running off with 2. Did we expect that? Did we expect another Shyla McGuire, Trey Red connection off of that? No, we did not, but that's what we got. And boy, are we excited to see what Magna Vista has going forward. But that rivalry matchup was everything we thought it would be and more. And I'm sure it came out, whether it was on Twitter, if you follow me on social media, how the kids were blowing it up. I mean, it was plenty of hits in that game. But at the end of the day, Martinsville struggled. I mean, in the end, it's undisciplined. A lot of unsportsmanlike conduct going on, a lot of personal fouls, a lot of horrible officiating, being that it was a good game. But Martinsville couldn't come away with the win. They were close, but no cigar. Magna Vista is still proving they're the best team in the Piedmont District. Still proving that they're just a little bit ahead of Martinsville, even though the score was 51-37. But they showed that they have the skill positions and one of the best lines to compete in a 2A championship this year. So we're going to see what they can do moving forward. And hopefully we have one of those good problems where we follow both teams moving forward. That's exactly what I would love to have. Both teams moving forward, where we cover Martinsville or we cover Magna Vista state playoffs. Something we haven't had. We've just had Magna Vista. Now, Martinsville has been in the state, in the playoffs, but they've had to travel to Buckingham to get their butts whooped. So with that being said, man, we're going to get that moving forward. So that was an awesome game, an awesome quarterback duel that you missed. I mean, we had great running backs in Kendall Rupert, Xanthus Harrison, and Dasani Harrison. But, I mean, it's safe to say right now, I mean, listen, those running backs, especially Dasani Harrison and Xanthus, they are a handful in the PD, and we see why Xanthus Harrison was getting so many accolades within the PD, and we see that Xanthus Harrison and Dasani might be the best backfield in the Piedmont District going forward. So with that being said, let's move on to Bassett and their struggles. Bassett lost 28-12. We thought they'd get a win. I mean, me and Brandon predicted it, thought that Halifax would lose to Bassett, but it looks like Halifax got away with it, being that Bassett, 4 turnovers in the red zone. Don't expect as much out of one of the best quarterbacks in the district in Dylan McKinney. And we don't expect that as he connected to Justin Taylor once again. But with that being said, more problems for Coach Gilbert and company. Still looking for their first win of the season, and they just couldn't get it this weekend. Last weekend. But this weekend, they'll travel to Franklin County in hopes of their first win. But this is the same Franklin County team we've seen. They almost beat GW. 35-33 was the final score. They pushed it that far. It's a lot more parity in the district. So Bassett is going to have to do a better job lessening their turnovers and finding a way to get that linebacking core intact so that it can stop a running game, because it hasn't stopped a running game so far this season. I mean, right now, can't stop a nosebleed. They have to do a better job. So with that being said, Bassett has to do a better job as they're winless in the Piedmont District. Magna Vista 2-2, Martinsville 3-2, still atop of the Piedmont District, as Tunstall is also atop of the Piedmont District. Oh, you didn't know? Tunstall beat Patrick County 36-13, and now they have a 3-2 record. So both of those teams are tied for the best record in the Piedmont District, whereas GW, they're 2-2. Magna Vista is 2-2. And then you have the rest of the Piedmont District, being that Franklin County is 2-3. Halifax is 2-3. And you have Patrick County at 1-4. So with that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And the next time you see us, we'll have Norm Wood of the ACC reporter of the Daily News on with his thoughts towards Virginia Tech. Stay tuned in to the Six Man.
Loan specialist. Usually that's someone who fights for your signature, then sells your loan to Never Never Land, never to speak with you again. At Martinsville First Savings Bank, we don't sell our loans, and we're locally owned and operated, so all decisions are made at 25 West Church Street in Uptown Martinsville. We've been serving the South Side since 1924. Proof that serving you remains our focus. For more information, call 276-638-8771 or visit martinsvillefirst.com. FDIC insured, equal housing lender.
At Memorial Hospital of Martinsville in Henry County, we understand the power of home. Knowing that Memorial Hospital brings the latest technology and the best medical professionals together for you, our families, friends, and neighbors, right here in Martinsville, is sometimes the best medicine. When you need cardiac care, time is critical. Our expert cardiologists are just moments away, meaning better outcomes for you and your heart. The best in care, the closeness of family and friends. That's the power of home.
The Cooper Tire Take the Money and Ride event is back this fall. Whether you're ready for a tailgate or to take a scenic drive, we can get you those tires. And also get a reward for up to $70 rebate on a purchase of a new set of qualifying Cooper tires. It's the perfect way to get your car ready for the season and score up to $70 prepaid card by mail. Quick Lube, serving you with 2 locations, Martinsville and Ridgeway.
I am Autos by Nelson.
I am Autos by Nelson.
I am Autos by Nelson.
I'm Autos by Nelson.
I am 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 Autos by Nelson.
Over 400 employees serving Martinsville, Henry County over 40 years.
We are Autos by Nelson.
If you're on the fence about making end-of-summer travel plans, remember this: before it can be your favorite place, it might be a place you've never been. So get out there and explore. And to help you make a new favorite memory this summer, from August 24th to September the 18th, you can get a $70 reward card after submission with the purchase of 4 new Michelin passenger and light truck tires. Cunningham Tire, serving you in 3 locations: Bassett, Danville, and Eden. Come on by. Cunningham Tire, we'll keep you rolling.
Sign up for pharmacy text alerts today. It's a simple, easy way to refill your prescription. Simply go online and register at www.refillrx.com or download the app to your smartphone. Getting your prescriptions just got easier at Family Pharmacy in Stanleytown, serving our community since 1996.
Welcome back to the Sixth Man. I'm Chris Draper here. No Brandon Burnett this evening, but I have a special guest from Newport News, Virginia. You should follow him at Norm Wood on Twitter. He covers Virginia Tech, covers the whole ACC, but more of an emphasis on Virginia Tech for the Daily Press in Newport News. Thank you, Norm Wood, for joining the show today.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Yeah, man. Definitely, we want to have you on the show, man, because we want to catch Martinsville, Henry County back up on Virginia Tech. So, without further delay, let's go ahead and discuss it. The first game of the season, Tech smashed Liberty. Second game, Tech came out early, but turnovers cost them against Tennessee. Next, they dismantled Boston College, and they even beat up on East Carolina. I just want to know, to start us off, has this offense truly improved under Fuente, Evans, McMillan, Hodges, Ford, and Phillips? Or are we going to get a true look against North Carolina next week?
Yeah, I think it's a little of both, Chris, and that's a great point about the fact I think you're kind of, a little bit alluding to the fact that they haven't really beat anybody yet, and that's the game against North Carolina here in a couple Saturdays will be a good a litmus test for who's going to be for the rest of the season looked at as maybe the favorite in the ACC Coastal Division. It's that kind of game, that caliber of game, but they have looked good offensively. I'll put it that way. And Gerard Evans has been one of the better quarterbacks in the country. There's not a quarterback in the country right now that has thrown as many as 13 touchdown passes, fewer than 2 interceptions, which he has done. He's got 13 and 1. So he's been very accurate, which is how he came as advertised, and he's been every bit of that. So he seems to have a good grasp of it. obviously moving a lot quicker than they did in the past. It's not to say that they didn't go with a little hurry up with Scott Leffler, the former offensive coordinator, but this is a different gear, and everything is sort of geared toward 18 to 19 seconds in between plays, and that's been sort of the MO. But they don't, the biggest thing for Fuente is the fact that he doesn't necessarily want to go fast all the time. He just wants to control tempo. I mean, he wants to do it his way. So if they want to go fast, they want to do that. If they want to slow things down, pound it out a little bit, and work the running game, then they want to try to do that too. And he still wants to see some improvements in that running game.
Well, I understand with the improvement in the running game, but we talked about Tech has struggled in the last few years with that offense moving forward, and I think he's doing an awesome job as well. But even with that being said, they've always had to rely on their defense. But last year they gave up, I would say, about 26 points a game on average. This year they've started off, excluding the Tennessee matchup, they've given up, I would say, about 14, 15 points a game. So is Bud Foster pleased with his defense so far this season?
Yeah, he's very pleased with it so far, Chris. And they're giving up 105 fewer yards per game than they did all last season in all 13 games on average. So, again, that has a lot to do with, as we sort of talked about, the top caliber competition. Like you said, Tennessee, they gave up a lot of yards on the ground, but they gave up less than 100 yards passing. So, I mean, they've definitely improved. A lot of that has to do with the fact that I think Foster understands his personnel. I mean, there's a lot of younger guys in that secondary, other than Chuck Clark and Brandon Faison, but they've had to work with a lot of younger guys as far as spring practice and early in camp due to injuries. So I think a lot of the younger players got some experience and some extra reps in practice anyway, meaningful reps with first-team guys. And and a lot of what he's done is sort of incorporate a lot more zone this year. And in the past, he's been pretty much almost, not entirely, but he leaned very heavily on man coverage, and he still works a lot of that. But with more and more offenses sort of moving towards spread looks and trying to get defenses spread out, he's recognized the fact that you got to try to incorporate a little more zone, give your defense an opportunity to get their eyes on the ball a little bit more. And that's worked out well. Again, like I said, especially for a younger group at linebacker in some of those secondary spots. They've been able to make some gains and really improve.
Now, given that they have improved. I mean, they've started off 3-1 this season. UNC and Miami were the preseason favorites. Could they challenge those teams for the Coastal Division this year?
It's a great question, and like I said, I think that we'll find out a lot about Tech here in a couple of Saturdays at UNC, and I think they can, only because I frankly don't think UNC and Miami are as good as they were at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Miami looks okay. Don't get me wrong.
I got you.
I certainly think that they're going to be a challenger for that Coastal Division title, but I think UNC's got some improvements to make on the defensive side. Still, they look better, but they've still got to get better on that side. And I think that Evans and Phillips and Ford and Bucky Hodges can exploit them through the air a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that if Virginia Tech can win that game, then obviously they certainly are a challenger. I had Virginia Tech pegged at 7-5 at the start of the season, which I don't think was much different from how a lot of people had them. But
no, most people had them like 8-4. 8-4 at best. At best.
Well, that's the thing, and I think I think that's the thing. I've got him at 7-5, but trending up from that point. I mean, I think a lot of people either expected them to be 2-2, 3-1 at the end of the first month of the season. That's exactly where they're at 3-1. But yeah, like you said, man, it's been an impressive 3-1 the way they've just dismantled Boston College and East Carolina in the last 2 weeks. First time in back-to-back weeks they've scored 49-plus points since 1999.
Exactly, and I mean, I'm thinking of this, but, we're talking about the Coastal Division. How beneficial is it that Tech doesn't play Clemson, they don't play Louisville, and they don't play Florida State?
It's an enormous advantage. I mean, it goes without saying that, when you can get out of a conference schedule and your cross rivals or, traditional cross rival for Virginia Tech is Boston College, which, in the past, that would have been a big game. I mean, that was for many years, at least 2 or 3 years, that was the ACC championship game. That seems like centuries ago at this point, with the way Virginia Tech and certainly Boston College has fallen off over the years. So, but yeah, not to have to play the new powers. Should I say the new old power in Florida State and the new power in Clemson and the brand new kid on the block with Louisville and Lamar Jackson, and to avoid all that, it's just, I mean, that's like a gift pretty much from schedule makers.
ACC sports reporter for the Daily Press in Newport News, Virginia, Norm Wood. Follow him at Norm Wood on Twitter. Covers Virginia Tech for us, bringing us a little more insight. And last question before I let you go, Norm. Ken Econom was just named ACC Defensive Lineman of the Week. He's tied last season. You know, he had 4 total sacks last season, and now he's already got 4 to start the season in the first 4 games. How much of a monster is he off that right edge for Tech?
Yeah, it's big. I mean, Foster does an awful lot to sort of free him up and try to always get a free hitter if he can, especially on pass rush. And Ken seems to be the beneficiary of that. At least he was last week. He pretty much came untouched on a sack in the end zone of ECU backup quarterback James Summers, which I think was a surprise to everybody. Actually, both he and Tremaine Edmonds, the linebacker, came untouched on that safety. Pretty stunning that there was as poor protection as there was inside the 5-yard line for ECU. But Ken's healthy. I mean, he's been plagued by some shoulder injuries over the past few years, and he's finally back to 100%. Got back to 100% back in the spring, and he set an off-season goal of 16 sacks this year, which everybody kind of snickered at. You know, that's a huge number, but you know, his ambition was to try to get 30 sacks in his career. He's a senior. You know, he came into the year with 14 sacks, only 16 to get to 30. And tell you what, if he has more two-sack games like he did last week against ECU, he's going to come awfully close to that number.
Exactly, man. Well, listen, I definitely appreciate you joining us. We look forward to having you more on this show, man. If you're at home, please follow Norm Wood on Twitter at Norm Wood. Covers Virginia Tech, covers the entire ACC, more of an emphasis on Virginia Tech. He's a reporter out for the Daily Press in the Newport News area. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with more of the Sixth Man.
Auto Rehab in Stanleytown. Dependable and trustworthy. Auto Rehab, your area's certified auto repair shop. Using state-of-the-art equipment for all your transmission and engine needs. From the simple oil change, tune-ups, to diesel repair for all makes and models. Auto Rehab is your local, dependable repair shop. Located behind Stanleytown Elementary School. Just follow the signs to Auto Rehab.
Hey guys, it's Ashley and Travis here again at Everything Outdoors to remind you that fall is right around the corner. Now is the time to schedule your appointment for lawn seeding and aerating. Fall is also prime time to plant your trees and shrubs. Less time watering means more time out there enjoying those cooler days. Does your lawn need a little makeover but you're not sure where to start? Take some photos and bring them down. Let us help you design the landscape that not only looks beautiful but will work well with your space. Here at the nursery, Mom's pansies and fall vegetables are growing and will be ready just in time as the summer winds down. Call or stop by and see us at
Your local news is brought to you in part by Radial. For more career opportunities in Martinsville, visit radial.com.
The Smith River Sports Complex has the entire sports community talking.
Facilities are fantastic. I mean, no matter where you go in the country, you won't find as good of facilities as we got here in Martinsville.
Everyone is just so friendly and wants us to have a good time here.
I've never been on the field this great.
We run the Cardinal Cup lacrosse tournament here, and we absolutely love the venue. The fields are great, the amenities are great, the concessions.
Martinsville Family Dentistry would like to invite you to experience Zoom. Zoom is a customized whitening experience that's created to make you look your best, give you dynamic results with a whiter, brighter smile in less than an hour. Over 10 million people have benefited from Zoom professional whitening treatment and have experienced the way a radiant smile can improve their self-confidence and their overall happiness. Patients have reported 5 to 8 shades whiter smile in just an hour. Martinsville Family Dentistry is taking new patients, so stop our office at 25 Cleveland Avenue, Suite A in Martinsville.
We want to thank Norm Wood for joining us on our last segment of the Sixth Man. He covers the ACC. He's an ACC sports reporter in the Newport News for the Daily Press. Follow him at Norm Wood. Go to my Twitter, hit my followers, or hit the people that I'm following, and you can find them there as well. Great coverage, great insight towards your Virginia Tech Hokies. But with that being said, I alluded to last segment that we would see who's the best quarterback in the Piedmont District. Now, with that being said, there's a lot that goes into being a quarterback. It's just the thought process, making smart decisions, not turning the ball over. I mean, being able to, is he elusive? Can he throw it on a dime? Can he drop dimes on him? I mean, what can he do? With that being said, I ran a poll last week on my Twitter on @IWon'tStop13. I ran a poll on my Twitter to see who the fans, who our followers thought was the best quarterback in the district. I got a lot of votes for Austin Perkins. I think I need to throw Akira Greenfield in there as well, throw his hat in there, Sam Branch as well for GW Danville, because there are a lot of great quarterbacks in the PD. Dylan McKinney does not get his fair shake, though, because Bassett suffers from not having a line so far, an inexperienced line. They've lost a lot, being that they lost Chris Belcher last year. Ross is over there actually at Magna Vista playing for them with a transfer. I mean, they have lost a lot. The kids aren't getting in the weight room as well, so you got to think about that too. But Dylan McKinney to Justin Taylor is a great combination as far as, and even Trey Wimbush in that backfield too, and Zakiel Mitchell. But Dylan McKinney is a monster quarterback, does great providing time to his receivers to get open at the best he can, and he has a gun for an arm. Aaron Martin probably has one of the best guns for an arm in the PD. I mean, if you watch that game, the PD game of the week, I mean, you saw him throw to Petway like it was nothing. I think he found his new favorite wide receiver. That's a number one, definitely. I mean, through that sidelines, burnt Ross up, Malcolm Ross to be exact, burnt him up. But I'm just saying, you know, it's a lot of great experience. And Austin Perkins, probably the fastest quarterback in the PD. I mean, if you let him out of your sight, if you do not tackle him, he is out and breaking for 20 to 30, even a touchdown. So you saw that as well. And he has a nice arm as well, and he can drop a dime too. You know, but Akira Greenfield, after what we just saw on Friday out of Akira Greenfield, we see he's a monster quarterback as well, and we just might see more of him this Friday in our BTW 21 game of the week as Magna Vista hosts Halifax. So Akira Greenfield has to put in there, but I just don't know who I can pick. At first, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I was picking Dylan McKinney. He didn't have a line. He just had the tools, he had the arm, he had the speed, he had the knowledge. But, I mean, he's got to learn to throw the ball away at times, even when he's running outside the pocket, when he's under duress, when the pocket collapses, which is a lot for Bassett. He's got to learn to throw that ball away. Aaron Martin, I mean, he's a monster in himself. He can put it on the ground. He can throw it in the air. But there are a couple things, you know, he lacks some vision at times. He lacks seeing the field at a couple times. I mean, yes, when he has a wide open play, and maybe that's because he played Magna Vista, is where that pocket collapse with Jason Scales and Jalen Pritchett on that outside closing in, and C.J. Hughes and Cam. And you know, Cam coming up that middle. I mean, I'm just saying, but you know, there's a lot of things that these quarterbacks have to work on, even Akira Greenfield. I mean, you know, but he handled it pretty well. I mean, that's the best I've ever seen other than Shyla McGuire back in the day with the first start for Magna Vista being a sophomore. Because, you know, Shyla McGuire in that GW game is what you had. But I'm just saying, man, it's a lot of great things these quarterbacks can have. If I have to pick a quarterback right now to do it all, I might just pick Aaron Martin right now to do it all. If I have to pick a quarterback to do everything, whether it be I need him to break outside the pocket and get me a touchdown, keep the play alive, or I need that big gun to throw it downfield. And he's got the receivers on both ends to do it. He's got Dasani Harrison, and he has Petway, and he has Jordan Kidd, and he has, Xanthus Harrison as well. So with that being said, I'm taking Aaron Martin. I'm taking Muntman's son right now. If you got a problem with it, send it at me. We'll definitely discuss it. But right now, I have to take him, #1 quarterback in the PD. Haven't seen Sam Branch yet. But that's going to do it for our show. Thank you for tuning in to The Sixth Man. I'm Chris Draper. Hopefully, Brandon Burnett is back next week. Good day, and God bless.